Hi everyone! This week we are thinking about Pan's Labyrinth, which is a movie that is near and dear to my heart, even though in some ways it is one of the most depressing movies that you will find out there. Now, for my discussion of Pan's Labyrinth, I want to talk about something super specific, and then if you guys have anything else that you want to think about in terms of the movie, you can bring it up in the discussion boards, you can bring it up in the quizzes, you can bring it up in next week in the written assignment. So, the thing that I want to talk about with Pan's Labyrinth is ambiguity. All right, now this is a word you may have heard before, and you may have heard it in a bunch of different contexts. Now, when I say ambiguity, I mean when you have two or more options for understanding something that you cannot confidently choose between. Now again, I'll repeat that just so it's super clear. Ambiguity is when you have two or more options for understanding something and you cannot confidently choose between them. And I want you to hold on to that term for thinking about not just Pan's Labyrinth, but thinking about other movies that we'll be watching as we move forward. All right, now, ambiguity in Pan's Labyrinth is exceptionally complicated. You probably noticed that this movie goes back and forth. All right, it goes back and forth between two different storylines. So one storyline is about a young girl who is brought into a fantastical, almost fairy tale-like world where we have fairies that fly around. And we have enchanted food. We have enchanted roots, right? Vegetables like the mandrake. And then at the end of the movie, she is brought into this world as a young girl to be admired and worshipped and revered, right? That's one storyline that we have. Now, the other storyline is that a young girl is living during incredibly violent and tumultuous time, and then at the end of the story is killed brutally. All right, now the story is going to move back and forth between these two very different storylines, even though they both work for understanding the exact same series of events. Now, by the end of Pan's Labyrinth, I think there is a temptation. And the temptation is to choose one over the other. So that we sit there and we think, oh, it's either about a young girl being brought into a fantastical, beautiful world, or it's about a young girl being shot down, all right, in incredibly violent wartime. All right, now, I highly recommend just thinking a little bit about how we can't really choose between them. I think in many ways, if the movie works, it gets us into this incredibly gray area so that we're not thinking about in terms of black or white. We're not thinking about exactly what happened, because the movie is going to frustrate our ability to decide on one storyline over the other. All right, so I'm super interested to see what everyone thought about the movie in the discussion boards, in the quizzes, and in the future written assignments. I think that there's a lot going on in terms of how the story is structured and how it is set up, so I'm really interested to see what you guys thought of it.